Good afternoon, football fans. Big Al here. It's Thursday. It's not Thursday. It's actually Wednesday, November 3rd, 2022. Look at me getting my days mixed up. Anyway, welcome in to my Week 12 picks in the National Football League, both straight up and against the spread. Plus the maps outlining these Sunday afternoon games. The announcers for each game, and an updated look at the playoff races in both conferences. And with that, let's take a look at the Week 12 schedule, where you have 3 games on Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. You got the Bills and Lions at 12:30 Eastern. And that will be televised on CBS. Then the second game of the triple header is the Giants and Cowboys on Fox at 4:30 Eastern. And then the night wraps up with the Patriots and Vikings on NBC at 8:20 Eastern. Then to Sunday afternoon, where you have 11 games on the schedule, 7 in the early window at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. The Bengals at the Titans, the Ravens at the Jaguars, and the Texans at the Dolphins are on CBS. The Buccaneers at the Browns, the Bears at the Jets, the Falcons at the Commanders, and the Broncos at the Panthers will all air on Fox. Then you have 4 games in the late window. 2 kicking off at 4:05 Eastern on CBS. The Chargers and the Cardinals, and the Raiders and Seahawks. And Fox has the doubleheader with their 2 games in the late window kicking off at 4:25 Eastern. The Rams at the Chiefs and the Saints at the 49ers. Then you've got the Packers and Eagles on Sunday Night Football on NBC at 8:20 Eastern. And the week wraps up with the Steelers and Colts on Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:15 Eastern. So all 32 teams will be playing here in Week 12. We'll be back to the bye weeks next week, with the Cardinals and Panthers taking the week off. And then the remaining 6 teams that hasn't had their bye week, they'll have theirs in Week 14. Okay, point spreads and point totals are courtesy of the Sports Alerts app. And the broadcast maps and broadcast teams for each game is courtesy of 506sports.com. Now, these can change at any time, in particular the Sunday afternoon games. So make sure you log on to www.506sports.com/NFL for any changes over the next few days. That being said, let's jump into my Week 12 picks. Starting off with Game 1 of the Turkey Day triple header tomorrow. The 7-3 Buffalo Bills at the 4-6 Detroit Lions, coming in with a 3-game win streak, and of course winning in Ford Field on Sunday against the Browns. The Lions moved up to number 19 in my Week 12 power rankings, while the Bills stayed stationary at number 5. So this is the first game of the Thanksgiving triple header, Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The announcers for that game will be Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. The current point spread as of 4 p.m. Eastern time today, as I was writing this information down, is Buffalo at -9.5, and the over-under is at 54 points. I'm taking the Bills to win straight up 27-24. I have the game finishing just under the 54 total. And I have the Lions covering as the home underdog at +9.5. In game 2 of the Turkey Day triple header. The 7-3 New York Football Giants, fresh off of last week's loss to the Lions, facing off with the 7-3 Dallas Cowboys, who went into Minnesota and just murdered the Vikings. They will face off at AT&T Stadium on Turkey Day. The Cowboys moved up to number 4 in my Week 12 power rankings, while the Giants fell to number 11. And this is, again, the second game of the Thanksgiving or triple header, Thursday at 4:30 Eastern on Fox. And the announcers will be Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. And the Giants may be without at least 6 of their starters. So this explains the big point spread here, which is Dallas minus 10. The over-under is set at 45.5. I am picking the Cowboys to win this one 31-23. And having the game going over the 45.5. But I'm taking New York plus the points to cover. It's a bold move on my point, but we'll see what happens. And then the final game on Thanksgiving is in prime time. The 6-4 New England Patriots at the 8-2 Minnesota Vikings. And both teams are within my top 10 in the power rankings. They're very close to each other. New England is number 9 in my Week 12 power rankings, while Minnesota is number 7. Of course, the Vikings, as I said, they got bludgeoned by the Cowboys. And that game is Thursday night at 8:20 Eastern on NBC. The announcers will be, here they are, Mike Tirico, Jason Garrett, and Tony Dungy. Current point spread is Minnesota minus 2.5, and the over-under is 42.5. Now, I don't understand why Vegas has the Vikings favored in this game, knowing the fact that Kirk Cousins does not perform well in primetime games. We know his track record. He's pretty bad in primetime games. And for that reason, I'm taking the Patriots to win 24-20, have the game finishing just over the 42.5, and I'm taking New England plus the 2.5 points as the road underdog. Now to Sunday afternoon, where again you've got 7 games in the 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific window. Starting things off, the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons at the 6-5 Washington Commanders, both battling for survival in the NFC playoff picture, which we will update at the end of this video. So stick around. This game is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The Falcons come in ranked number 17 in my Week 12 power rankings. The Commanders just a few spots ahead of them at number 4. Current point spread is, if that, we'll get to that in a sec. On the Fox early map on 506sports.com, this game is listed in green. The primary Fox stations for this game, will help if I turn the page over, is Fox-owned and operated stations WAGA Channel 5 Atlanta and WTTG Channel 5 in Washington. Other markets besides Atlanta and DC getting this game include El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Birmingham, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Richmond, and Norfolk. The announcers are Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. Now I can tell you the current point spread is Washington minus 4.5. Over-under is set at 41. I'm taking the Commanders to win this game 26-17. I have the game finishing 2 points over the 41. And I have Washington covering the 4.5 points. On to Jacksonville for the 7-3 Baltimore Ravens and the 3-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. The Ravens come in number 8 in my Week 12 power rankings. The Jaguars are 25. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. On the CBS map on 506sports.com, this game is shaded in yellow. The primary CBS stations for this game are CBS owned and operated WJZ Channel 13 in Baltimore and CBS affiliate WJAX Channel 47 in Jacksonville. And this game has a pretty limited area. We've seen in parts of the Northeast and in portions of northern Florida. So the only major markets besides Baltimore and Jacksonville getting this game are Washington, Harrisburg, and Tallahassee. The announcers for this game are Andrew Catalan and James Lofton. The current point spread is Baltimore at -4, and the over-under is at 43.5. I'm taking the Ravens straight up 31-16 and to cover the 4 points. And I have the game going over 43.5. Up next, the Chicago Bears at 3-8, traveling to the Meadowlands to face the 6-4 New York Jets. In fact, this is their second visit to the Meadowlands this year. Earlier this season, the Bears played the Giants and lost that game. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The Bears come in number 31 in my Week 12 power rankings. The Jets, after that ugly loss to the Patriots last week, fell to number 16. On the Fox early map on 506sports.com, this game's listed in blue. The primary Fox stations are both owned and operated by the network, WFLD Channel 32 Chicago, WNYW Channel 5 New York. Major markets outside Chicago and New York getting this game include Minneapolis, St. Paul, Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Indianapolis, Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, Hartford, West Palm Beach, and Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Announcers for this game are Joe Davis and Daryl Johnston, a.k.a. The Moose. Current point spread is the Jets -6, over-unders 38.5. I got the Jets, Jets winning this game 24-14. I have this game finishing slightly under the 38.5 point total. And I have New York covering the 6 points as the home favorite. All right, the next game is the national game of interest on CBS in the early window, and that's the 6-4 Cincinnati Bengals and the 7-3 Tennessee Titans. A rematch of their playoff matchup last year. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And of course, this being the national game of interest on the CBS map on 506sports.com, it's listed in red. The main CBS stations for this game are WKRC Channel 12 in Cincinnati and WTVF News Channel 5 in Nashville. Major markets outside Cincinnati and Nashville receiving this game include San Francisco, Salt Lake City, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Kansas City, St. Louis, Omaha, Memphis, Knoxville, Des Moines, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Indianapolis, Dayton, Columbus, Louisville, Lexington, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, Boston, Providence, Hartford, Philadelphia, Richmond, Norfolk, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Raleigh-Durham. The announcers for this game are Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. Current point spread is Cincinnati -2. Over-under is 42.5. I'm taking the Titans, though, to win this one 28-20 and exact a little bit of revenge on the Bengals. I'm taking the over in the game, and I have Tennessee plus the points. Next up is the Denver Broncos at the Carolina Panthers, a game that's normally aired on CBS, but instead will be aired on Fox at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. Flex scheduling. The Broncos enter at 3-7, while the Panthers are 3-8. And both are near the bottom of my power rankings. The Broncos are number 27. The Panthers are number 30. On the Fox early map on 506sports.com, this game shaded in yellow. The main Fox stations for this game are KDVR Channel 31 Denver and WJZY Channel 46 in Charlotte. Major markets outside Charlotte and Denver receiving this game include Boise, Salt Lake City, Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, Raleigh-Durham, and Greensboro, Winston-Salem. So, again, a very limited coverage area for this game. The announcers are Chris Myers and Robert Smith. Current spread is Denver -2, over-under is 36. And it's like the lesser of two evils. The Denver Broncos offense and the entire Carolina Panthers team for that matter. That being said, I'm taking the Broncos here 21-10. I have the game going under 36, and I'm taking the Broncos to cover the 2 points. I mean, they're both inferior teams, but I think Carolina is the worst of the two, and I think the Broncos should be able to carve out a little bit of offense in this game. Our next game is the Houston Texans at 1-8-1, visiting the 7-3 Miami Dolphins. The Texans once again sit dead last, number 32 in my Week 12 power rankings, while the Dolphins, fresh off of their bye week, is up to number 6. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. On the CBS map on 506sports.com, this game is shaded in orange. The main CBS stations for this game are KHOU Channel 11 Houston and CBS owned and operated WFOR Channel 4 Miami Fort Lauderdale. Major markets outside Houston and Miami getting this game include Birmingham, Orlando, Fort Myers, and West Palm Beach. So not a lot of people will be seeing this game. It's primarily towards southern Florida and some portions of the Southeast, and even some smaller markets in Texas. Current point spread is a massive one. Miami -13.5, and the over-under is 47. Hopefully the Dolphins defense can come out and perform in this game, because Houston is a very inferior team and they can keep games close. I don't see that happening this week. I got the Dolphins winning 28-13, got the game going under the 47, and I have the Dolphins barely covering the 13.5 points. Maybe a suicide mission, but again, we'll see what happens. The final game on the early card on Sunday afternoon is the 5-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and leaders of the NFC South, visiting the 3-7 Cleveland Browns. Now, this is the final game of the 11-game suspension for Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. That means we'll be seeing Jacoby Brissett one more time before Watson is slated to return next week against the Texans in Houston. How about that? Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. On the Fox early map on 506sports.com, this is the national game of interest, which means this game shaded in red. Main Fox stations are WTVT Channel 13 Tampa St. Petersburg and WJW Channel 8 Cleveland. Major markets outside Cleveland and Tampa Bay getting this game include Seattle, Spokane, Portland, San Francisco, Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, San Diego, Reno, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Tucson, Little Rock, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Orlando, Fort Myers, Knoxville, Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Providence, and Boston, looks like. The announcers are Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. Current point spread is Tampa Bay -3. The over-under is 43. I'm taking the Bucs to win this game 27-17 because I just don't trust the Browns right now. I'm taking the over, not by a whole lot in this game, and I have Tampa covering the modest 3-point spread. That brings us to the late afternoon portion of the schedule, and we'll start off with the 2 games on CBS at 4:05 Eastern Time. The first game we'll look at. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the power rankings for the Bucs and Browns. Tampa Bay is number 13, and Cleveland is down at number 29. Now we can look at the late afternoon games on CBS, starting off with the 3-7 Las Vegas Raiders and the 6-4 Seattle Seahawks. The Raiders are currently number 22 in my Week 12 power rankings. The Seahawks number 15. This game is at 4:05 Eastern Time on Sunday on CBS. On the CBS map on 506sports.com, this game's listed in green. The main CBS stations are KLAS Channel 8 Las Vegas and KIRO or Cairo TV Channel 7 in Seattle. Outside of those markets, other cities getting this game include Spokane, Boise, Portland, Reno, Sacramento, Fresno, Chicago, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Tampa St. Petersburg. The announcers are Greg Gumbel and Anna Marcelletta. Current point spread is Seattle -3.5. Over under is 48. I'm taking the Hawks to win this game 28-16. I have the game finishing slightly under the 48. And I'm taking Seattle to cover the 3.5 points. The other game in the late window on CBS is the 5-5 Los Angeles Chargers at the 4-7 Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is Arizona's final game before their bye week. And this game is also at 4:05 Eastern on Sunday on CBS. On the CBS map on 506 Sports, this game's shaded in blue. Main CBS stations for this game are CBS KCBS Channel 2 in Los Angeles and CBS affiliate KPHO Channel 5. Other markets getting this game include San Diego, Bakersfield, Tucson, Albuquerque, Denver, Colorado Springs, Cleveland, and New York City. The announcers for this game are Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. Current point spread is LA -3. Over under is set at 48. I'm taking the Chargers to win 30-20. And this is based on Kyler Murray, possibly not playing in this game. Even if Kyler Murray were to play, I think it would be a lot closer, and I still think the Cardinals would lose, but either way. I have the Chargers winning 30-20. I have the game going over 48, and I'm taking Los Angeles -3. Now to game 2 of Fox's doubleheader, otherwise known as America's Game of the Week. The first game up is the game of national interest. The 3-7 defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. It has been a nightmare for them this year. Traveling to Arrowhead to face Patrick Mahomes and the 8-2 Kansas City Chiefs. As for power rankings, the Chargers were ranked number 18, the Cardinals number 24. And in this game, the Rams are number 26, while the Chiefs are my number 1 team. All right, so this game is Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox. On the Fox late map on 506sports.com, this game shaded in red. Main Fox stations for this game are Fox-owned and operated KTTV Channel 11 in Los Angeles, which is also the network's West Coast flagship, and Fox affiliate WDAF Channel 4 in Kansas City. Major markets outside of Kansas City and LA getting this game include Seattle, Spokane, Boise, Portland, Bakersfield, San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Tucson, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, Denver, Colorado Springs, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Little Rock, Wichita, St. Louis, Omaha, Des Moines, Minneapolis, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, Memphis, Birmingham, Nashville, and every single Fox station in the Eastern Time Zone. From Detroit to Miami and all points in between. The announcers are Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson, so they will be calling 2 games this week. They'll be on the mics for the Giants-Cowboys game tomorrow and for the Rams and Chiefs on Sunday. Current point spread is the largest on the board, which is Kansas City minus 15.5. And the over-under is at 43. Now it appears that Matthew Stafford is in concussion protocol and will more than likely not play in this game, which means I think Stafford will be the starting quarterback for the Rams. That explains why Vegas put this game at 15.5 points, put the spread at 15.5 points. And I don't see no reason why Patrick Mahomes can't carve up this porous defense. I can see a reason why Patrick Mahomes can't carve up this Rams defense that has kept them in games for the most part. That said, I'm taking the Chiefs to win 38-24. I have the game going way over 43. But I'm taking LA to cover that 15.5 point spread, but not by a whole lot. The other game in Fox's doubleheader is the 4-7 New Orleans Saints and the 6-4 San Francisco 49ers, fresh off of Monday night's beatdown of the Cardinals down in Mexico City. This game is also Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox. On the Fox late map on 506sports.com, this game is listed in blue. Main Fox stations are both Main Fox stations for this game are WVUE Channel 8, that's the Fox affiliate in New Orleans, and KTVU Channel 2, the Fox owned and operated station in San Francisco. And not a lot of people will be getting this game. It's primarily being aired to Northern California, portions of Utah, and virtually the entire state of Louisiana. That's it. The other major markets getting this game are Sacramento, Fresno, Reno, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge. The announcers are Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez. Current point spread is San Francisco minus 9.5, and the over-under is at 43. I have the Bang Bang Niner gang winning this game 31-17. I have the game going over the 43, and I'm taking the Niners minus the 9.5 points. By the way, the 49ers moved up to number 3 in my Week 12 power rankings, while the Saints moved up to number 28. So that's a look at the Sunday afternoon schedule. Now let's dive into Sunday night football. This week, it's the 4-7 Green Bay Packers at the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. The Packers come in number 20 in my Week 12 power rankings, while the Eagles are number 2. Sunday night at 8:20 Eastern on NBC. All right, the main stations for this game are WGBA Channel 26 in Green Bay and WTMJ Channel 4 in Milwaukee, both representing the Green Bay Packers. And NBC owned and operated WCAU Channel 10 in Philadelphia, representing the Eagles. As for the Patriots-Vikings game, the main NBC stations there are WBTS Channel 15, the NBC-owned and operated station in Boston, and NBC affiliate KARE Channel 11, Minneapolis, St. Paul. But now back to the Packers and Eagles. This game will be called by Mike Tirico, possibly, and Chris Collinsworth. Current point spread is Philly minus 6.5, and the over-under is 46.5. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game 28-20. I hope they perform better than they have the last 3 weeks. I'm going over the 46.5 points, and I'm taking Philadelphia minus 6.5. And then the final game of the week is Monday Night Football, and this week it's the 3-7 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 4-6-1 Indianapolis Colts. That's the team that took the Eagles to the wire last week. Monday night at 8:15 on ESPN. And in my Week 12 power rankings, neither are ranked that high. The Colts are number 21. The Steelers are number 23. All right. And this game will be called by Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Now, ESPN will be blocking out the game Now, the game will be blacked out on ESPN in the Indianapolis and Pittsburgh markets. So the game will be televised locally on WPXI Channel 11. That's the NBC station in Pittsburgh. And Wish TV Channel 8, the CW station in Indianapolis. Current point spread is Indianapolis minus 2.5, and the over-under is 39. I have the Colts winning this game 23-16. And I'm pushing the total in this game as I got exactly 39 points here. And I'm taking the Colts to cover the 2.5 points. Okay, so that's a rundown of my picks, both straight up and against the spread. Now let's take a look at the current playoff picture in the National Football League as we go into week number 12. And we'll start with the AFC. The 4 division leaders entering week 12 are the Kansas City Chiefs out west, the Miami Dolphins in the east, the Tennessee Titans in the south, and the Baltimore Ravens in the north. Kansas City currently sits in the number 1 spot with an 8-2 record, 3-0 versus the AFC West, 5-2 in the conference. Strength of schedule is 485. Strength of victory is 469. The Dolphins, Titans, and Ravens are all sitting at 7-3. Miami is 2-1 within the AFC East, 5-2 in the conference. Strength of schedule is 525. Strength of victory is 465. Tennessee is 3-0 within the division, 5-2 in the conference. 466 strength of schedule, 358 strength of victory. And the Baltimore Ravens is 2-0 in their division, 4-2 in the conference, 529 strength of schedule, 458 strength of victory. Miami wins the tiebreaker over Tennessee based on strength of victory. Wins tiebreaker over. They also wins the tiebreaker over Baltimore based on best win percentage in conference games. Tennessee, meanwhile, they would win the tiebreaker over Baltimore based on best win percentage in conference games. All right, as it sits right now, your three wildcard teams in the AFC would be the Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, and Cincinnati Bengals. The Buffalo Bills currently sit in the number 5 spot with a 7-3 record. 0-2 against the AFC East, 5-2 in the conference, 554 strength of schedule, 493 strength of victory. Number 6, which would be the second wild card spot, that currently is held by the New England Patriots. 6-4, 2-1 in division, 5-2 in the conference, 461 strength of schedule, 434 strength of victory. And in the 7th and final playoff spot, the Cincinnati Bengals. 6-4 record, 1-3 in the NFC or the AFC North rather. 3-3 in the conference, 466 strength of schedule, 444 strength of victory. And just on the outside of the playoffs, in 8th place, the New York Jets. 6-4, 2-2 in the AFC East, 5-4 in the conference, 515 strength of schedule, and 443 strength of victory. Now let's read off these tiebreakers. The Patriots would win the tiebreaker over the Bengals based on best win percentage in conference games. Division tiebreakers. The division tiebreak was initially used to eliminate the Jets, in which the Patriots owned that tie based on head-to-head win percentage. New England beat New York twice. Cincinnati has the tiebreaker over the New York Jets based on head-to-head win percentage. So there's that. Both the Patriots and Bengals have beaten the Jets head-to-head. That's why they're ahead of the Jets. In 9th place at the present time, the Los Angeles Chargers, just a game out at 5-5, 2-4 11th place. With the Jacksonville Jaguars, Las Vegas Raiders, Cleveland Browns, Denver Broncos, and Pittsburgh Steelers all sitting. All right, we'll start off with the Jaguars, 3-4 in the conference, 500 strength of schedule, 403 strength of victory. The Raiders are 2-2 in the AFC West, 3-5 in the conference, 417 strength of schedule, 250 strength of victory. The Browns are 2-1 in the AFC North, 2-6 in the conference, 539 strength of schedule, 387 strength of victory. Broncos 0-3 in the AFC West, 2-6 in the conference overall, 446 strength of schedule, 350 strength of victory. And the Steelers are 1-2 in the AFC North, 1-6 overall in the conference. 584 win percentage, 484 strength of victory. All right, now to the tiebreakers. Jacksonville owns the tiebreaker over both Cleveland and Las Vegas based on best win percentage in conference games. The division tiebreak was initially used to eliminate Denver. Vegas wins the tiebreak over the Broncos based on head-to-head win percentage. Divisional tiebreak was also initially used to eliminate Pittsburgh. The Browns wins the tie over the Steelers based on head-to-head win percentage. As for the Raiders, they won the tiebreaker over Cleveland based on best win percentage in conference games. The division tiebreak was initially used to eliminate Denver. Vegas wins the tie over the Broncos based on head-to-head win percentage. The division tiebreaker was also initially used to eliminate the Steelers. Again, Cleveland owns that tiebreaker over Pittsburgh based on head-to-head win percentage. Speaking of Cleveland, the Browns wins the tiebreaker over the Broncos based on strength of victory. And division tiebreak was initially used to eliminate Pittsburgh. Browns wins the tiebreaker over the Steelers based on head-to-head win percentage. And the Broncos would win the tiebreaker over the Steelers based on best win percentage in conference games. And then sitting at the bottom of the AFC still, the Houston Texans, 1-8-1. 1 up, 1 down, and 1 tie in the division. 1 win, 4 losses, 1 tie in the conference. 490 strength of schedule, 300 strength of victory. So there's your AFC playoff picture going into week 12. Now let's jump over to the NFC as we wrap things up. All right. Your division leaders as of right now would be the Philadelphia Eagles in the East, the Minnesota Vikings in the North, the San Francisco 49ers in the West, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the very weak South. All right. Philadelphia sits in the number 1 spot at 9-1. 2-1 record in the NFC East, 5-1 in the conference. Strength of schedule is 452. Strength of victory is 441. In the number 2 spot is the Minnesota Vikings at 8-2. 3-0 in the NFC North, 6-2 in the conference. 524 strength of schedule and 459 strength of victory. Number 3 would be the San Francisco 49ers at 6-4. They're a perfect 4-0 within the NFC West, 5-2 in the conference, with a strength of schedule of 413 and a strength of victory of 387. And then number 4, rounding out your division leaders, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-5. 2-1 in the NFC South, 5-2 in the conference. Their strength of schedule and strength of victory are both 481. As it sits right now, your 3 wildcard teams would be the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, and the Seattle Seahawks. And 2 of those teams play each other this week. Dallas would be the top wild card, sitting in the number 5 spot at 7-3. 2-1 record in the NFC East, 6-3 in the conference, 534 strength of schedule, 514 strength of victory. Number 6, or the second wild card, is the New York Giants, also 7-3. 0-1 in the NFC East, 3-3 in the conference, 442 strength of schedule, 390 strength of victory. And in the final wild card spot, the number 7 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, 6-4 record, 2-1 in the NFC West, 4-4 in the conference, 452 strength of schedule, 435 strength of victory. In 8th place, just a half game out of the playoffs, are the Washington Commanders at 6-5, 1-2 in the NFC East, 3-4 in the conference, 531 strength of schedule, and 397 strength of victory. Oh, there's a tiebreaker I gotta tell you about too. Going back to the Cowboys, they win the tiebreaker over the Giants based on head-to-head win percentage. Wanted to get that in. All right. A game and a half out in 9th place are the Atlanta Falcons at 5-6. 1-3 in the NFC South and 4-4 in the conference. They have a 412 strength of schedule and 404 strength of victory. And just think, the Commanders and Falcons are set to do battle in the nation's capital this weekend. So this is a big game in terms of this NFC playoff picture. And look at here, just lurking just 2 games out in 10th place. The Detroit Lions on a 3-game win streak and a 4-6 record. 2-1 in the NFC North, 4-4 in the conference. Very respectable. They have the best strength of schedule in the NFL at 612. Their strength of victory is 465. Then you got a 3-way tie for 11th with the Green Bay Packers, Arizona Cardinals, and New Orleans Saints, all sitting with 4-7 records. Green Bay is 1-2 in the NFC North, 3-4 in the conference, with a 589 strength of schedule and 512 strength of victory. Arizona, also 4-7, is 1-4 in the NFC West, 3-6 in the conference, 527 strength of schedule, 310 strength of victory. And New Orleans, also sitting 4-7, is 1-2 in the NFC South, 3-4 in the conference, 469 strength of schedule, 415 strength of victory. On to the tiebreakers. The Packers wins the tiebreak over New Orleans based on strength of victory. And they also own the tiebreaker over the Cardinals based on best win percentage in conference games. Meanwhile, Arizona would win the tiebreaker over New Orleans based on head-to-head win percentage. Remember, the Cardinals beat the Saints in a Thursday night game earlier this year. And then right below them in 14th place, the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, who are in big trouble, sitting at 3-7. They are 1-3 in the NFC West, 3-6 in the conference, 486 strength of schedule, 364 strength of victory. And there's a tie at the bottom of the NFC with the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears, both at 3-8. The Panthers are 3-1 in the NFC South, 3-5 in the conference, 482 strength of schedule, 438 strength of victory. While the Bears, also 3-8, sit 0-3 in the NFC North, 1-7 in the conference overall, with a 544 strength of schedule and a 450 strength of victory. Carolina wins the tiebreaker over Chicago based on best win percentage in conference games. And with that, we wrap up this edition of my Week 12 picks, as you are now all set for week number 12 in the National Football League. We will be back either late Sunday night or early Monday morning with a rundown of the updated NBA and NHL standings. Now, I don't think there's going to be a lot to talk about there, given the fact that Thanksgiving is tomorrow and neither league is playing. So that's coming up either late Sunday night or early Monday morning, one of the two. And then more football content to come next week. On Tuesday, we'll recap everything that happened here in week number 12 in the week that was. The statistical numbers from all 16 games. Plus, I'll unveil my week 13 power rankings and we'll update the standings. Then we'll have the college football rankings for the AP and top 20, the AP top 25 and the coaches poll. And we'll go live again with the college football playoff rankings. And we'll have a quick look at the championship Saturday portion of the college football schedule. Not too many games to go over, but we'll look at that either way. And then we'll be back next Thursday with my Week 13 picks. Plus the maps for all Sunday afternoon games, the announcers for each game, and the updated playoff picture in both conferences. That drops next Thursday. Join me next week for all of those vids. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the pigskin. And happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Peace out.